Well, Australians gathered today to collectively commemorate the moments the first shots rang out 1 week ago at Sydney's Bondi Beach in an attack on a Jewish festival that left 15 people dead. An estimated 10,000 people packed the beach for today's solemn ceremony, laying flowers and paying respects for victims of last week's mass shooting. It happened during a Hanukkah celebration at the seaside location, with authorities describing the attack as Australia's deadliest mass shooting in nearly 3 decades. It's being investigated as an act of terrorism targeting the Jewish community. Authorities have ramped up policing across the country in an effort to prevent further anti-Semitic violence. Well, joining me now is Rabbi Rafi Lipner with the UJA Federation of Greater Toronto. Rabbi, thank you for being here on this Sunday.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
This Hanukkah in particular has clearly been overshadowed by this shooting and this devastating tragedy that happened in Australia. Hanukkah wraps up tomorrow, but take me through, in your community in particular, how people have been dealing with it, how they've been processing this, again, around the holidays.
You know what? There's two parts to it. Obviously, there's the unspeakable loss and tragedy, and I think one of the special things about our community is that worldwide we all feel like we're families. So first and foremost, there's just a lot of pain, a lot of sadness. And I think the second, response to that then is people start getting worried on our home territory that copycat possibilities, and if something happens in one part of the world like this, there's definitely a fear. I'd be wrong if I'd say not, that this could, God forbid, happen here in other cities around the world. And there's definitely a heightened security, and we appreciate the police force being there with us and for us, and hope that on all levels they're there to support us through this time. But that probably be only half the story. The second part of the story is what always happens is we just come back, stronger and more resolute. And, in many ways, I'm thinking about the fact that in New Year's in a couple of days, the first major fireworks that happens is really in Sydney that the whole world watches. Well, today, the first of the last day of Hanukkah was lit by our Sydney brothers and sisters, bringing more light into the world just one Sunday after the horrific, events of what took place. And I think that's our cue for the rest of the Jewish world as well.
Yeah, it certainly is a really good point that you make in the fact of, where in the world this happened and the effect that it's clearly having. Moving forward into the new year, too, just take me through some of the conversations you've been having. You touched on security, you talked about that, but just how greatly impacted, again, the Jewish community here in Canada has been as, again, transitioning into 2026.
Yeah. Listen, the conversations are happening on all level, on a government level, on an enforcement level, on a, security level. But it's also a time for the Jewish people to, come closer together and stronger. It's interesting. It's a holiday of a festival of lights where we light candles. And our deeper sources teach us that there's a really interesting dichotomy when it comes to flames. If it's a stormy night and you have a flame, that what could happen is it could blow it out. But if that flame is an eternal flame and it never goes out, ironically, that same storm actually fuels the flame even brighter. And if you think about how many people were on the beaches of Bondi last Sunday, maybe it was a few hundred people when this tragedy struck. Now I was informed that there are something between 15 to 20,000 people celebrating Hanukkah on the beaches of Bondi. And I think that's really the reaction and the conversations that are happening is how do we not let this blow our candle out, but rather how do we let it fan the flame even stronger to spread more light, more love, which is what the world really needs now more than ever.
Rabbi Rafi Lipner with the UJA Federation of Greater Toronto. Really appreciate you taking some time for us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays, my friend.